Tundra's not doing so well. It needs a new radiator. I have this brand new unit from AutoZone. Part number is C2994. That is fresh. And it doesn't come with a new cap. That is sold separately. AutoZone. First thing to do is find the plug and drain the old coolant out. And in a bucket, I'll catch it in. And then I have a bunch of gallon containers I usually use for old oil that I'll stick it in after, and I can dispose of it at the auto store. Don't even know if this cap was good anyways, so it was good getting a new one. All right, there's the plug, and once the plug's loosened or the valve opens up, it'll pour straight down right into a container. The skid plate has to come off, which is 3 12mm bolts. All right, once the radiator is drained, the hoses can come off. Upper hose, this one, and there'll be the hose on the lower. Hose is off, and then bucket to catch more fluid if they had any. All right, now there'll be 2 10mm bolts, one on each side, the other's over there, to come off to disconnect the shroud from the radiator. Now the shroud will be able to lift up and back up out the way. Now the only thing keeping the radiator in is 4 bolts. They're tricky, but they have access holes. One's there. If I get it, these are 12mm. One's there, it's easy to get to. The other is behind this oil cooler, so this will have to get out of the way. The other one's there. That may require a universal to keep from taking the whole bumper off. And the other is there. That one was easy. This one, there's a bolt here. These are 12mm. There's a bolt here, and here's access here that has one there and another there. With some extensions, I was able to get them out, and that'll let the oil cooler move out the way enough to be able to get to that bolt. And these, I believe a ratchet will be able to get in there and get them out without having to ruin the bumper and without having to try to struggle to use these ports here. Just like I thought, I managed to get all 4 of them out. A little bit of jiggling, I'll be able to get this right out. It's gonna go straight up. And it did, just like I said, straight up. Well, like earlier, I grabbed this shroud and I pulled it up and pushed it back a little bit. To get it back in, the new one in, just gotta be careful, make sure nothing binds up and breaks, but I mean, this is gonna be a reverse process. Shouldn't be too bad. I know it'll be tricky getting those bolts back in the line up just right. I'll try my best. To line it up is pretty easy, so I carefully lowered it in place. But to line it up is fairly easy because there's a, what you want to call it, a keyed guide. So there's that slot and there's a tab. That tab will go in and it'll line the holes up. That'll make it a process a little easier. Just like that. Now, like I said, just the reverse order. I got this one in just to get started, to hold it in place. Now I'll be able to get the other 4. And I'll go from there, get the shroud on, hoses on, and whatnot. The oil cooler bracket in the way, well, honestly the bracket could have came off with 2 bolts and that would have been easy too. But there is some access from behind this core support that might make it easier, but yeah, this bracket came off and that would have totally been out the way. Bolts are back in, shrouds in place. Now the 10mm bolts are next to go in. Now that those are in, the upper and lower hoses can go back on, or flow tank hose. Lower hoses on, the upper hoses are on. Everything's back in place. Now I can add my coolant and water and I'm good. I'm not gonna show the whole burping process right now. I'll show a clip of what I did on another vehicle, but I'm not gonna show all that with this one. Just the radiator replacement, and it's been done.